government forces to protesters? Which side appears to have the upper hand in and around where you are?
Well, we're actually on the border where we've got a heavy military presence of Tunisians. On the other side, we understand from just speaking to people, there is a heavy military and police presence of Libyans. And what they're doing to people as they get through the checkpoint is searching them, taking their mobile phones off of them. The most important thing for them is not allow any footage to get across the border into Tunisia. They're also taking people's money as well. And the difficulty is, along these checkpoints, which are just numerous all the way from Tripoli, is that people just don't know who these people are, whether they are, some of them are plain clothes, so they're not sure whether they are anti-Gaddafi or pro-Gaddafi. Then you've got the military and the police as well. And some people have been telling us there are foreign mercenaries at some of these checkpoints too, but we can't confirm those reports. So it is an extremely dangerous place right now, this part of western Libya. But people are managing to get out. Some of them are, but a lot are being left behind.
Nazanin, we're looking at the pictures of fighting in and around Al Zawiya. Thank you very much indeed. Let's talk to Sama Halawi, who's in charge of the satellite phone company Thuraya, talking to us, I understand, from the Middle East, or one of the Emirate countries. Now, tell us a little bit about the reason why you're on to us. Is it because your satellite communications are being jammed?
Yes, that's precisely the case. We have started being interfered with around in the evening of the 17th of February. And it's a deliberate interference, it's a deliberate jamming of our system. We believe the reason for this is because there's a wide awareness that we have a very strong deployment in Libya of satellite phones as well as data solutions. So there was a deliberate interference on our system that has affected our coverage over Libya, for one, but also affected our coverage in other areas of the satellite coverage area.
You can be certain that this is deliberate interference rather than just one of those glitches that we sometimes encounter with modern technology.
No. Yes, it is deliberate, and it's not the first time that it happens. It had happened in the past before, in the mid-2000s. And it is deliberate, and we actually even have a view of the location of where it's happening and how it's happening.
I mean, for those of us who don't understand it, don't make this too complicated, but tell us how it would be jammed. How would anybody go about it?
Well, without going through the details of this, because we are taking some legal actions to pursue this. This is unlawful and it's uncalled for. As you know, we have a satellite system that is a universal, that works universally, and the importance of our services is mainly at times of critical need. And what happens is there are special equipment that is that can be used in certain ways, and they have basically jammed our satellite, and they have blocked us from being able to offer coverage to our customers when they needed it the most.
Do you know where they're doing this from?
Tripoli. From
an army place or a technology company?
I can't disclose this at the time, but at this time right now. But we have the location of the place. It's in the middle of Tripoli.
And one other question for you. In terms of the reach that you have, clearly it's quite large. How far south and north would you go? I mean, what areas would your coverage be affected?
It's affected in different areas. It's not directly contiguous because the way the satellite works, it makes the affected areas sometimes not contiguous. Now, the point that is worth mentioning is that we've been working around the clock to mitigate this problem, and we are now back operational on almost 70% of the Libyan territory. So our engineers have been able to do an excellent job in countering this interference, which continues, by the way. It has not stopped, but we have been able to counter this in a certain way and restore services up to around 70% of the Libyan territory as of now.
Thanks a lot. That's Sama Halawi from Thuraya. From the US, the president there making his first televised comments on what's happening in Libya, calling the violence there outrageous. Patty Culhane in Washington for the very latest reaction from there. All very well to say something. I suppose a lot of people will be appreciative of that, even if it is about 6-7 days after it all started. But what is the US actually doing?
They're going to be talking to their allies and looking to the United Nations for action. The administration's made it very clear that they have no intention of taking unilateral actions other than possibly, and I say that because that's really the only idea they've thrown out there and even confirmed that's being considered, is sanctions. They could do that, but again, the president said all options are on the table.
In terms of getting Americans out, I know some countries have been quite successful, others haven't had the luck, if you like. What's America up to?
Put the U.S. in the not successful, at least not so far category. They tried to get a chartered plane in there. They were told that Libyan officials denied that, so they had a ferry in, put that in Wednesday. And the ferry, we've been told, is pretty much sitting at the pier. It's packed full of people. It can carry about 600 people, including Americans and other people from other countries they've offered to help. But apparently bad weather has kept them at the pier. They say they are secure, they are safe, and they hope to leave, soon. It could be as late as tomorrow. But if I could real quick pass along something we've gotten from the State Department. It's a warning, a little slightly ominous warning to journalists. Apparently they've been talking to Libyan officials who've said that they are going to allow certain organizations into the country. You just heard that from the Libyan official, but that they are aware that there are journalists who've entered the country illegally. And the Libyan officials are telling the State Department, the U.S. State Department, that they consider these journalists to be al-Qaeda collaborators. If they are caught, they will be arrested, and that the Libyan government cannot guarantee their safety. So the advice from the State Department to those journalists who are in the country illegally, at least according to the Libyans, is that they should try to find some of those crews that have been cleared to go in and sort of hunker down with them.
Patty, thank you very much indeed. Right, we're off to in some ways, what is the nerve centre of our operations in getting all of this information out to you, the viewer, from you, the viewer. Imran Khan is at the web desk.
Thanks. The great thing about the web, David, is it allows almost instant reaction. And that's what we've got to Colonel Gaddafi's speech, to the microblogging site Twitter. And as I say, lots of reaction, including this. He's naming tribes in Zawiya. He's trying to force Libya to become tribal, but he will lose. And some confusion on what his speech meant. How can someone be in denial? Please, we need medical explanation, not political one. And this, a somewhat satirical take. So we, the people who are busy popping pills and enjoying our tanks and weapons, get orders from bin Laden? Glad that's sorted. Now, this first video was posted on a site called the Revolution Blog. It shows a dead man in army clothes. The site says he had a Nigerian passport on him, and they describe him as a mercenary. And as with a lot of pictures we've been showing you on the web desk, we haven't been able to verify when or where in Libya this video was shot. Now, we've also been hearing reports that the eastern port city of Derna is no longer under government control. This video posted to the web claims to show a group of women. Now, they're holding the so-called liberation flag, protesting the yard of an old mosque, and they're chanting anti-Gaddafi slogans. Another way people are getting their voices heard outside the country